We're back here on a special edition of Couch Coach Live. We're going to get you guys ready for a race weekend here in Richmond, Virginia. We got a great weekend lined up, and I had to bring in one of my guys. I know you. If you around town in Richmond, you'll see him at the VCU games, covering VCU basketball and all of VCU athletics. Our guy, Adam Cheek, and our NASCAR writer for Front Stretch. What's going on, Adam?
Chris, thanks so much, man. I appreciate having me on. Always great to talk NASCAR. It's a race weekend. It's my birthday weekend. It's Easter weekend. This is an exciting weekend coming up, man.
Yes, indeed, and you get the best of both worlds this weekend. You get the Xfinity Series. You got a Saturday afternoon race, and then we got the big one, the Cup race under the lights at Richmond Raceway. You can't beat it, like you said, and it's your birthday weekend, and on top of it being Easter as well. Like you said, you cannot beat a weekend. And I think, I'm not Andrew Fried, and I'm not, Zach Daniel. I'm not the weather guy, but we might be a good shot for some good weather this weekend. But for that, you stay tuned with that. I'm not the weather man, but it looks good for now as we in the beginning of the week. So yes, indeed. So definitely once again, appreciate you coming on. Obviously, our paths cross definitely at VCU games, but we definitely got to talk a little NASCAR this week. So
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm excited for it. Like you said, the 12 weather app is telling me that we got 50% chance of rain on Saturday, 35 on Sunday, but that's only in the morning, so we should be good. And it's under the lights again. Finally, we get the racing back at night, and I can't wait.
Yes. Night racing has been missing from Richmond for a while, but we got it back. So obviously, this isn't the first stop of the NASCAR series here. Just in general, it's the first one here in Richmond for this year. So, what has been your thoughts since of the NASCAR season so far? What's been your thoughts overall on the season?
It's been interesting. That's the really kind of it's a generic way to put it, but I mean, you started out the Daytona 500, kind of an anticlimactic ending. William Byron winning. He just won. We're recording this on Monday, so he won yesterday to become the first repeat winner of the year. You had Daniel Suarez winning in the insane 3-wide finish at Atlanta, which is tied for one of the closest finishes in NASCAR history. Instant classic of a race, instant classic of a finish, which is awesome. And then you had Las Vegas, Phoenix, mostly uneventful. Bristol was interesting with the tire wear and everyone having to basically back down their pace because the tires were shredding so quickly. And then yesterday at Circuit of the Americas, not a great race, but William Byron ended up winning. Kind of an interesting final few laps. I think the interesting thing about this season is that we have had that winner parity. You had Byron in a Chevy, Suarez in a Chevy, Larson in a Chevy, Bell in a Toyota, Hamlin in Toyota. Ford's the one that's been struggling a lot, but you have 5 different winners in 6 races, which you always like to see. You don't want to see some dude sweep like the first 6 races of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, you want, especially at this point in the season where there's no dominant driver, but like you said, it's still like a steady pace forward. So yeah, and Richmond could be a springboard for that potentially, but we shall see. But as far as and we talked about it earlier, before we went live, some storylines to watch this weekend coming into to Richmond.
Well, I think the big thing is Ford. They're not doing good. You look at the way this season's gone, and again, they haven't won a race, and I'm bouncing across Racing Reference here because I wanted to have everything on me just to be sure that I got everything. I'm getting all my facts straight, of course, but I think the big thing is that Stewart-Haas Racing, they were so strong for so long. Last year, they weren't great. Kevin Harvick, obviously the best guy in there because he's talented, or he's a veteran, and he retires, and now you've got a stable full of guys who are either very early in their careers or are veterans of just a few seasons. None of them are 10, 15-year veterans like Harvick was. And if we look at the finishing orders, no Ford in the top 8 at Daytona. Ford got a few guys in top 10 at Atlanta. Blaney was in second with that photo finish, but they just haven't had the consistency that they normally do. You look at the Penske team, Ryan Blaney, really, really good this year so far. He's the defending champion, and you'd expect him to come out of the gate strong. He's up there in the points, but like his teammate Joey Logano, one of the most consistent and talented drivers in the entire garage, is like in 30th or thereabouts in points. He's doing awful. He has had a nightmare season so far, and it's just been a weird year because you have John Hunter Nemechek, who's up there like in playoff contention. Chase Briscoe's close, and he wasn't last year. The lack of competition from the Fords has been the really, really weird part of it. And Chevys and Toyotas have been dominating. I think that's the biggest storyline going into this, because last fall, or I guess last late summer, the most recent Richmond race was won by a Ford, and that was Chris Buescher. His teammate Brad Keselowski did really well. So is this an opportunity for Ford to rebound? That is, I think, the biggest thing we're looking at going into this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So as we talked about it, we had the best of both worlds. So we got obviously the Xfinity Series race, which is going to be Saturday afternoon, 1:30 p.m. It's going to be a beautiful day. We'll forget the 15% rain chance, but it's still going to be a great day. So, Adam, who is some drivers that we need to be on the lookout for the Saturday afternoon race?
All right, so I made like 5. I limited myself a little bit. First up, you got Austin Hill, an insanely talented dude for Richard Childress Racing. Won the first 2 races of the year. He's never won at Richmond. I don't know if he's even won on a short track period. I don't think he has, but he's very, very good. I think we could see him maybe get his first short track. I mean, Richmond's 0.75 miles, so it's not as short as something like Bristol, but it's close enough. His first short track win. Shane Van Gisbergen won in his first ever start in a NASCAR period last summer at the Chicago Street Course. But he's more of a road course guy. He's just in there to get laps, get experience as he makes the transition to NASCAR. AJ Allmendinger, typically a road course guy, but has done well on ovals for Colleague Racing. I think we could see him maybe get his first win on an oval this weekend, or first win at Richmond this weekend. Jesse Love, Austin Hill's teammate, has been really, really good. But he is not. He's been close, but no cigar several times this season. I think he won the first 2 poles of the year. We could see him do well. And Justin Allgaier, who is one of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet in the garage. Insanely talented, veteran of the series. He's won at Richmond twice. Or at least twice. He swept the doubleheader back in 2020 when they did a 4-race weekend back in COVID. So I'd have my eyes on him. And the other guy, I'm turning 26 on Saturday. The race is on Saturday. Corey Hines going to be in that 26 car for my fellow VCU graduate, Sam Hunt, for that team. So and they finished 4th last year with Kaz Gralla behind the wheel. This is their home track. I could see them making a run at a win with Hines behind the wheel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hey, man, what a time to turn 26.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a great age. So we talked about the Saturday afternoon race. Now we got to talk about the major one, the Cup Series under the lights. Like we said, back by popular demand. I guess I can say that in the sense where we're back here under the lights. 7 o'clock Easter Sunday night. Who are some drivers to watch in the Cup Series on Sunday night? Pardon me.
Can I say half the field? I mean, like, you got a lot of guys who are in contention here.
More the merrier. More, like we said, so much parity. Like you said, in the Cup Series, why not? Like we said, Richmond could be that place.
I'll limit myself to 6, like I did for Xfinity here. All right, so Alex Bowman, really good run this past week at COTA. He's been relatively fast this year. He's won at Richmond before he did 3 years ago, back in 2021. So I think we could see them maybe make a play for the front. They won it on strategy a few years ago. Maybe they do that again. Brad Keselowski, who led a lot of laps last year at Richmond in the fall and could be that breakthrough win that Ford really needs to kind of get their mojo back this year a little bit. I could see that. And he hasn't won since he became, he won a Daytona Duel, but those aren't points races. Since he became part owner of Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, he has not won a race as of yet. Ryan Blaney, another Ford. There are a lot of Fords in my picks, despite them being bad this year. Blaney has never quite gotten there at Richmond. He's never been great, but he's run better there as of late. And as a defending champion, I think he wants to get a win sooner rather than later in the season where he's mounting a title defense. Tyler Reddick, really talented driver, finally found his footing with 2311 Racing. Not even late last year. He won at COTA early on in the season, but his win at COTA and his win at Kansas, I believe it was, late last year, have kind of solidified himself in that 2311 camp. I mean, his teammate Bubba Wallace, you can't count him out either, because both of them were running really, really well last summer at Richmond. And then I think Bubba had the tire issue or something, and Reddick had a commitment line issue or something like that. And neither of them got the finishes that they probably should have. Denny Hamlin, hometown guy, of course, has won at Richmond God knows how many times. Fantastic driver, already has a win this year. And Christopher Bell, who's been on a tear. He probably should have won COTA yesterday if he had gotten around his teammate a little bit sooner. He was closing in on William Byron like that. So I think those are going to be your guys to watch. Mostly your Toyotas and a couple of Fords thrown in there too.
Yeah. You also have an article on there on the website about that. So
I do.
Shameless plug for you, Adam. So yes, definitely. Yeah. So definitely, you guys definitely got to check that out. So hey, that's what we do around here,
Yeah. Gotta promote that stuff.
For sure. So we're gonna ask you the $1 million question here on Couch Coach Live. So we'll start off first. Who is your winner for the Toyota Care 250, the Xfinity race? Who's your winner for that?
Who? The selfish part of me really wants to say Corey Heim in that Sam Hunt car because of the number 26. And I think there's a good shot it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. But if I have to make a pick, I'm going to say Justin Allgaier gets it done. He won Bristol he's won a lot of races. He's won 2 of the Xfinity races I've been to. He won Darlington a couple years ago, Bristol last year. And then if I had been at Richmond back in 2020, I would have seen him win 4 times at this point. So I think I see him win the 3rd time this weekend, just because he was leading at Phoenix with 4 to go a few weeks ago, and he had a tire go out from under him, ended up in the wall instead of victory lane. I think he's going to want that one back. He wants that win to finally lock himself into the playoffs. Justin Allgaier is going to get the win at Phoenix. Backup pick is going to be that 26 car.
Okay. All right. And then under the lights race, what you got? And for the Toyota Owners 400, what you got?
Who? See, that's tough because we haven't had a whole lot of under the lights races since. Well, okay, so 2019 we did. 2020 was Brad winning that one. That was back when he was in the 2. And then starting 2021, we just had the day races. I think, if my timing is, those were day races. Okay, let me think. All right, Kyle swept them in 2018. Truex swept them in 2019. But under the lights in the spring, like on Easter, like this early in the year, I don't know who's gonna win this one. But if I had to pick, not Reddick, I'm gonna say I'm going with my gut. Bell was the first person my eyes went to. I'm gonna go with Christopher Bell, getting his 2nd win of the year. He's won at Richmond before, not in Cup. He's won there in Xfinity 3 times, 2018, and 2019. Denny Hamlin is my backup pick for that because I think it's going to be a Toyota. This is where the Toyota races is where those cars thrive. It might be, if it's a Toyota sweep weekend, Corey Heim wins Xfinity, Christopher Bell wins Cup, but I'm going to go Bell wins Cup one way or the other.
Yeah, that would definitely be an interesting turn of events if that does transpire. But yes, indeed. So before we round out our preview for this weekend, Adam, tell them where they can find you on social media, talk about the podcast, and also your work at Front Stretch.
Yeah, for sure. So you can find my podcast at Adam Cheeks Sports Week on Spotify and Apple. I had interviews with some U of R players the past week. I talked to Anna Camden, who she didn't play this year, but she's done a ton of stuff off the court. And of course, the Spiders just had an unfortunate end to their run at the hands of Duke in the first round of the tournament for women's basketball. But I talked to Addie Budnick and their coach Roussel, for an episode last week. So check both of those out. And this week, not doing sports. We've got some kind of sports actually. GalaxyCon was last weekend, and I was out there covering that. Interviewed some great people. Chris Parnell, who was on 30 Rock, and Archer and SNL. He was great to talk to. But my favorite, Corbin Burnson, chatted with us for a few minutes. As someone who loves Major League, that was awesome to get to talk to him. And all those interviews will be on my YouTube and also on the podcast over the next few days. And then coming up, doing some stuff with VCU and some other stuff around the corner. So stay tuned for that. And then for Front Stretch, you can just search Adam Cheek Front Stretch on Google, and it'll take you to all my articles. I do Real Racing every week, where I write about the intersection of racing and movies. And what else? I do the Stock Car Scoop podcast every week. And you can find me on Twitter/X at Adam N. Cheek. I think that's everything.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. So yeah, once again, and I heard GasCon was fun. I know, it looked like it was fun, and I know, when we was Terrell from Legacy Maker Sports, he had some funny interviews as well. So yeah, it was funny to see everybody out at GalaxyCon.
Yeah, I ran into him both days. He was awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, everybody looked like they had such a good time, man. That's definitely seemed really cool, like, to do. But yeah, man. So once again, Adam, definitely appreciate you for coming on. We definitely have you come on at some point. I know we'll probably keep chopping up NASCAR. Maybe talk about once VCU win NIT champ tournament. Once they win the NIT tournament, we go, that's how we gonna preface it. So after they take care of business these next couple of games and win NIT, But yeah, we'll definitely chop it up at some point. Even with NASCAR as it comes in the summer, or even throughout the course of the NASCAR season, we could definitely chop it up and get that going. So yeah, man.
Yeah, man, for sure. Have me on to talk about baseball. Yeah. I'm so excited for opening day at VCU. We didn't make the NCAA tournament, but winning the NIT would be awesome. So whatever is in your wheelhouse, feel free to have me on. I'm excited.
Yes, and as you well know, I'm all over the place. So yeah, like you said, it could be anywhere, for me. But yeah, man. Once again, appreciate you, Adam, for coming on, stopping through on our podcast to preview NASCAR weekend here in Richmond. And definitely appreciate you for coming on. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow night for our live episode of Couch Coach Live. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow. And we're out.